A text message is not just a collection of words, it is an extension of your energy, your mindset, and your emotions. When you send a message, especially in a scenario where emotions might already feel heightened, the recipient doesn't just read the text, they feel the intention behind it. This is why two people can say the exact same words, but the impact of those words can be completely different. One might ignite curiosity, affection, or excitement, while the other might seem dull, uninspiring, or even desperate. The secret to making an impression lies in the energy you bring to the interaction, and that starts long before you even pick up your phone to type. Think of your energy as a frequency. Just like a radio station, the frequency you're tuned into determines the kind of message you broadcast. If you're coming from a place of anxiety, overthinking, or fear of losing someone, your message will carry that vibration. Even if you try to disguise it with cheerful words, the underlying energy will seep through. People are far more intuitive than we often give them credit for. They can sense when something feels off, even if they can't quite put their finger on it. This is why it's so important to align your energy with a sense of calm, confidence, and authenticity before you even think about pressing send. To do this, you need to pause and reflect on your state of mind. Are you reaching out because you genuinely want to connect? Or are you seeking reassurance? Are you sending a message because you feel inspired? Or are you acting out of a fear of being forgotten? These are tough but necessary questions to ask yourself. When you take a moment to ground yourself and ensure that your message comes from a place of clarity and positivity, you're already setting the stage for a more meaningful exchange. Now, let's consider what it means to truly communicate. Communication isn't just about transmitting information, it's about creating an experience. When you send a text, you're inviting the recipient into your world for a moment. What kind of world are you inviting them into? Is it one that feels warm, uplifting, and intriguing, or is it one that feels heavy, needy, or predictable? The energy you bring to the interaction shapes the emotional response you're likely to receive. This is why the typical good morning text often falls flat. It's not that there's anything wrong with the phrase itself, but it's so common and overused that it carries little emotional weight. It doesn't spark curiosity, and it doesn't leave a lasting impression. More importantly, if your energy is off, even a seemingly innocent good morning can come across as an attempt to fill a void rather than a genuine gesture of connection. Instead, imagine crafting a message that feels alive with your unique energy. It could be something playful, like sharing an inside joke or a funny memory. It could be something thoughtful, like a quote or an idea that reminded you of them. The key is to make the interaction feel fresh and engaging, not rehearsed or obligatory. When you take the time to create a message that reflects your best self, it not only makes the other person feel special, but it also reinforces your own sense of self-worth. The process of aligning your energy with your message isn't just about impressing someone else, it's about transforming the way you show up in your own life. When you focus on cultivating a positive magnetic energy, you'll find that your interactions naturally become more meaningful and fulfilling. This shift begins with small but powerful choices, like taking a moment to center yourself before you communicate. Breathe deeply, remind yourself of your value, and approach the interaction with the intention of sharing something genuine and uplifting. Another important aspect of energy is the ability to detach from the outcome. This doesn't mean you stop caring about the other person, it means you care about yourself enough to not let their response dictate your emotional state. When you're too invested in how someone will react to your message, your energy becomes tense and restrictive. This tension can be felt, even if the words you choose seem harmless. On the other hand, when you approach the interaction with a sense of ease and detachment, your energy becomes expansive and inviting. You're no longer trying to control the situation, you're simply offering a piece of yourself and trusting that it will be received in the right way. Consider the emotional state of the person you're texting. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good about themselves. When your energy is positive and uplifting, it creates a ripple effect that can brighten someone's entire day. This doesn't mean you have to put on a false front or pretend to be happy when you're not. It means finding genuine moments of joy or inspiration in your own life and sharing those moments authentically. When your text comes from a place of true positivity, it has the power to elevate not just the recipient's mood, but also your own. It's also important to remember that energy is a two-way street. While you're focusing on bringing the best version of yourself to the interaction, you should also pay attention to how the other person responds. Do they reciprocate your energy? Do they show genuine interest and effort? If not, it's a sign to reevaluate the dynamic and ensure that your energy isn't being taken for granted. When you respect your own energy and value, you naturally attract people who do the same. This cycle of energetic exchange is the foundation of meaningful relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional. By starting with a grounded and intentional energy, you shift the focus from what can I get from this interaction to what can I contribute to this interaction. This subtle shift changes everything. Instead of seeking validation or attention, you're offering something valuable, a moment of connection, a spark of joy, or a sense of inspiration. This is the kind of energy that leaves a lasting impression and creates deeper bonds over time. Predictability is the fastest way to lose someone's interest, especially in communication. The human mind thrives on curiosity and intrigue, and when interactions become routine, they lose the power to captivate. This is particularly true in the realm of text messages, where attention spans are short, and the potential for connection is often overshadowed by the mundane nature of checking, and the typical good morning text falls into this trap. It's well-meaning but lacks depth, originality, and the ability to evoke any real emotional response. To make an impression that lingers, you need to create a sense of mystery and leave them wanting more. Creating intrigue starts with understanding the psychology of attention. People are naturally drawn to things that feel fresh, unexpected, or slightly elusive. Think about the last time you read a message that truly made you stop and smile. Chances are, it wasn't something predictable or ordinary. It was something that felt personal, unique, or even a little playful. The secret to crafting a memorable text lies in your ability to step outside the realm of routine and tap into the elements of surprise and wonder. When you send a message that's different from the norm, you spark curiosity in the recipient. Curiosity is a powerful emotion because it creates an open loop in the mind, compelling the person to engage further to find closure. For example, instead of sending a generic good morning, you might send something like, I just saw something that made me think of you. Guess what it is? This simple shift transforms a passive exchange into an active dialogue, where the recipient feels naturally inclined to respond. They're no longer just receiving a message, they're participating in an experience. The key to maintaining this sense of mystery is to balance intrigue with authenticity. The goal is not to play games or manipulate emotions, but to create a space where both people feel genuinely excited to engage. This requires a bit of creativity and a willingness to be thoughtful about your communication. What are the things that make your dynamic unique? Is there a shared joke, a memory, or a topic of mutual interest that you can weave into your message? When you tap into these elements, your texts become more than just words on a screen. They become an extension of the connection you're building. Another way to evoke intrigue is through subtle storytelling. Humans are wired to respond to stories because they activate emotions and create a sense of immersion. Even in a brief text, You can incorporate storytelling elements to make your message stand out. Instead of saying, "Hope you have a great day," you might say, "You won't believe what happened to me this morning." It's totally your kind of story. This approach not only captures attention, but also makes the recipient feel like they're part of your world in a meaningful way. It's about inviting them into a narrative rather than just sending a standalone statement. Tone and timing also play a crucial role in building mystery. If you're too available or overly predictable in your communication, it can diminish the sense of excitement. While it's important to be consistent and reliable, there's also value in allowing a bit of space and spontaneity. For instance, instead of texting at the exact same time every day, mix it up. Let them wonder when they might hear from you or what kind of message you'll send next. This unpredictability keeps the interaction dynamic and prevents it from becoming stagnant. Even the choice of words can enhance the sense of intrigue. The language you use should evoke emotion and curiosity, not just relay information. Words are powerful tools that can paint a picture, spark imagination, or stir desire. For example, rather than saying, "Thinking of you," you might say, "Just passed by that little coffee shop we love, brought back so many memories." This subtle change transforms a simple thought into a vivid image that draws the recipient into the moment with you. It's also important to recognize that mystery doesn't mean withholding or being cryptic. True intrigue comes from being genuine while still leaving room for the other person to engage their imagination. It's about striking a balance between sharing and holding back, just enough to keep them curious. This approach allows you to remain open and authentic while still fostering a sense of excitement and anticipation in your communication. When you prioritize mystery in your texts, you're also sending a message about your own value. You're showing that you don't rely on surface level interactions to maintain someone's interest. Instead, you're confident enough to let the relationship unfold naturally, with moments of surprise and delight woven in along the way. This confidence is magnetic and draws people toward you in a way that feels effortless and organic. It also shifts the focus from seeking validation to creating mutual enjoyment, which is a much stronger foundation for any connection. Mystery invites people to look beyond the obvious and explore the layers of who you are. It adds depth to your interactions and sets the stage for more meaningful exchanges. By keeping your communication fresh and unpredictable, you make it clear that you're someone worth investing time and energy into. This doesn't mean every message has to be groundbreaking or profound. Sometimes the smallest touches of creativity can have the greatest impact. It's about showing that you're thoughtful, intentional, and capable of creating moments that feel special, even in the simplest of ways. In the end, the art of intrigue lies in your ability to balance openness with a hint of the unexpected. It's about stepping away from the ordinary and creating a space where connection can thrive. When you master this approach, you not only capture attention, but also foster a deeper sense of curiosity and appreciation in the person you're communicating with. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to build something meaningful, one message at a time. Gratitude is one of the most transformative energies you can bring into any interaction. It has the power to shift perspectives, dissolve negativity, and foster a deep sense of connection between people. When you express gratitude, you're not only uplifting the recipient of your words, but also elevating your own emotional state. This is why leading with gratitude in your messages is far more impactful than a standard greeting like "Good morning." It allows you to start the day with positivity and meaning, creating a ripple effect that influences both you and the person you're reaching out to. Instead of sending a predictable and easily overlooked text, think about how you can use gratitude to create a moment of warmth and connection. A message rooted in gratitude immediately stands out because it carries emotional weight. It signals that you've taken the time to reflect on something meaningful, and that thoughtfulness is felt on the other side. For example, instead of a simple good morning, you might write, I woke up feeling so grateful for everything you've brought into my life. You have no idea how much you inspire me. This type of message not only conveys appreciation, but also deepens the emotional bond between you and the recipient. The beauty of gratitude is that it's versatile. It can be as grand or as simple as you want it to be. It could be about something significant, like how someone supported you through a tough time, or it could be about a small, everyday moment that brought you joy. For instance, you could send a message like, I was just thinking about that time we laughed until we couldn't breathe. You always know how to make life feel lighter. These kinds of texts are meaningful because they're specific and personal, making the recipient feel truly seen and valued. Gratitude also has the unique ability to transform the energy of a conversation. If you're reaching out to someone with whom you've had tension or distance, starting with gratitude can dissolve barriers and create an opening for connection. Instead of focusing on what's wrong or what you're missing, you're shifting the focus to what's right and what you appreciate. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to lead with positivity, which often encourages the other person to do the same. When you express gratitude, it's important to make it genuine and specific. Generic statements like I appreciate you are nice, but they lack the depth of a message that ties gratitude to a particular moment or quality. For example, instead of saying I appreciate you, you might say, I really appreciate how you always know exactly what to say to make me feel better. You have such a gift for understanding people. The more detailed and heartfelt your gratitude is, the more meaningful it becomes. Another powerful way to use gratitude in your messages is to tie it to the present moment. People often underestimate the impact of acknowledging what's happening right now. For instance, you might send a text that says, I just wanted to say thank you for always being there for me. Thinking about you this morning reminded me how lucky I am to have someone like you in my life. By anchoring your gratitude in the present, you make the message feel immediate and heartfelt, which resonates on a deeper level. Gratitude also encourages reciprocity. When you express genuine appreciation, it often inspires the other person to reflect on what they're grateful for in return. This creates a positive feedback loop that strengthens the connection between you. It shifts the dynamic from one of routine interaction to one of mutual upliftment and care. The energy of gratitude is contagious, and when you bring it into your communication, it often spreads to those around you. Incorporating gratitude into your messages is not just about making someone else feel good. It's also a practice of mindfulness and self-awareness. Taking a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for allows you to shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. This simple act can have a profound effect on your mindset, especially if you're dealing with negative feelings. Gratitude doesn't eliminate challenges, but it provides a healthier perspective from which to approach them. When you send a message of gratitude, you're not only lifting the other person, but also reinforcing your own sense of emotional resilience and positivity. It's worth noting that gratitude doesn't always have to be serious or profound. It can also be lighthearted and playful, as long as it's authentic. For instance, you might say, thank you for introducing me to that show. I'm officially obsessed and blaming you for my lack of sleep. Messages like this convey appreciation while also adding a touch of humor, making them memorable and enjoyable to receive. Expressing gratitude in your texts is also an opportunity to highlight the unique qualities of the person you're reaching out to. People love to feel valued for who they are, not just for what they do. Take a moment to think about what makes this person special to you and incorporate that into your message. For example, you could write, I'm so grateful for your kindness. You have a way of making everyone around you feel important. And that's such a rare quality. Messages like this go beyond surface level appreciation and speak to the heart of who someone is, creating a lasting impact. In moments when words alone don't feel like enough, you can also use gratitude as a bridge to action. Let your message be the starting point for a gesture that reinforces your appreciation. For example, if you're thanking someone for their support, follow up with an offer to help them in return or a plan to spend quality time together. This shows that your gratitude is not just a fleeting thought, but a meaningful part of how you value the relationship. By infusing your communication with gratitude, you're setting a tone of positivity, depth, and intentionality. It's a simple but powerful way to enrich your interactions and build stronger, more fulfilling connections. Thoughtfulness in communication is one of the most underrated yet profoundly impactful ways to connect with someone on a deeper level. It goes beyond simply exchanging words. It's about putting care, intention, and genuine consideration into what you say. When your messages reflect thoughtfulness, they stand out in a sea of routine and predictable interactions. They become moments that the recipient remembers and cherishes, not because of their complexity, but because they feel truly personal and meaningful. Being thoughtful begins with paying attention. In every interaction, whether through text or face-to-face, people leave little hints about what matters to them, their interests, struggles, joys, and aspirations. When you take the time to notice these details and incorporate them into your messages, you show that you value the other person as an individual. For example, if someone mentioned in passing how much they enjoy a specific hobby, referencing it in a message like, "I saw something today that reminded me of your love for painting. It made me think of how talented you are," creates an immediate sense of connection. It's a small gesture that shows you're listening and that you care. Thoughtfulness also involves timing. It's not just about what you say, but when you choose to say it. A well-timed message can brighten someone's day or provide comfort when they need it most. For instance, if you know they've been stressed about a work presentation, sending a supportive message the morning of or a follow-up afterward shows that you're attuned to their life and emotions. Even something as simple as, "I know today's a big day for you, you've got this," can have a profound impact. It communicates that you're thinking of them in real time, not just as an afterthought. The language you use in your messages also plays a significant role in conveying thoughtfulness. Words are powerful, and when chosen carefully, they can uplift, inspire, and reassure. Avoiding cliches and opting for more specific, heartfelt language makes your communication feel authentic and sincere. Instead of a generic "hope you're doing well," consider something more personal like, "I've been thinking about how much you've been juggling lately. I hope you're giving yourself the credit you deserve for handling it all so gracefully." Such messages show empathy and a deeper understanding of the person's experience. Personalization is another key aspect of thoughtful communication. It's not about crafting elaborate messages or trying to impress. It's about tailoring your words to reflect the unique dynamic you share with the recipient. This could mean referencing an inside joke, a shared memory, or a specific quality you admire about them. For example, a message like, "Every time I see a sunflower, I think of how much you love them. They've kind of become your symbol of happiness in my mind." It feels infinitely more meaningful than a generic greeting. It speaks directly to the relationship and creates a sense of intimacy. Thoughtfulness also means considering the emotional tone of your message. Are you offering encouragement when they're feeling down? Are you celebrating their achievements with genuine excitement? Are you providing a sense of calm when they're overwhelmed? Matching your message to their emotional state requires empathy and a willingness to put yourself in their shoes. It's about understanding where they're coming from and responding in a way that feels supportive and aligned with their needs. Sometimes thoughtfulness is about what you don't say. There's an art to leaving room for the other person to respond, reflect, or interpret. Bombarding someone with long-winded texts or overwhelming them with too much information can feel intrusive rather than considerate. A thoughtful message strikes the right balance. It's meaningful enough to show you care, but leaves space for the recipient to engage in their own way. This approach respects their autonomy while still fostering connection. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to infuse thoughtfulness into your communication is to acknowledge and validate the other person's feelings. Life is full of moments when people feel unseen or unheard, and a single thoughtful message can make all the difference. For example, if someone is going through a tough time, a message like, "I know things have been hard for you lately, and I just want you to know I'm here for you," no matter what, can provide immense comfort. It shows that you're not just aware of their struggles, but that you're willing to stand by them. Another dimension of thoughtfulness is consistency. It's not about grand gestures or perfectly worded messages every time. It's about showing up regularly with care and intention. Thoughtfulness, when practiced consistently, becomes a defining trait of your communication. It creates trust and strengthens the bond between you and the recipient. They come to associate your messages with warmth, understanding, and a sense of security, which is invaluable in any relationship. Thoughtfulness also has a ripple effect. When you approach communication with genuine care and intention, it inspires the other person to do the same. It sets a standard for how you both interact, elevating the quality of your connection. Over time, this mutual exchange of thoughtfulness deepens the relationship and creates a foundation of mutual respect and appreciation. It's worth noting that thoughtfulness doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Sometimes the simplest gestures carry the most weight. A quick message acknowledging a recent conversation, a thoughtful question about something they're passionate about, or even a line that makes them smile can all be incredibly impactful. The key is to approach each interaction with the mindset of making the other person feel valued and understood. Incorporating thoughtfulness into your communication is as much about the small, everyday moments as it is about the larger gestures. It's about cultivating a habit of mindfulness and care in how you engage with others. By taking the time to be intentional and considerate, you create a lasting impression that goes far beyond the words you use. Thoughtfulness transforms ordinary exchanges into meaningful interactions, strengthening the connection and bringing a sense of joy and fulfillment to both sides. Curiosity is one of the most powerful tools in building and sustaining meaningful connections. It goes beyond the surface, inviting exploration and deeper understanding. When you approach someone with genuine curiosity, you're not just engaging in small talk or routine conversations, you're signaling that you care about who they are, what they think, and how they feel. It transforms the way you communicate, making your interactions memorable and enriching. Curiosity begins with a willingness to listen, but it doesn't stop there. It's about asking the kind of questions that show you're truly interested in the other person's experiences, thoughts, and aspirations. It's not enough to ask, "How was your day?" Instead, you might say, "What was the highlight of your day today?" Or "What's something you've been really excited about lately?" These questions open the door to meaningful responses because they require reflection and a deeper level of engagement. They show that you're not just checking in out of obligation, you're actively invested in their world. When you approach conversations with curiosity, you're giving the other person a gift, the opportunity to be seen and heard. In a world where so many interactions feel transactional or superficial, genuine interest stands out. It makes people feel valued and understood, which fosters trust and emotional closeness. For instance, if someone shares a small detail about their life, like a project they're working on or a hobby they're passionate about, following up with a thoughtful question shows that you're paying attention. You might say, "You mentioned you were learning to play the piano. How's that going? Have you learned any songs you love yet?" This kind of engagement demonstrates that their words matter to you, strengthening your connection. Curiosity also has a way of deepening your understanding of the other person. Every question you ask and every story they share adds a new layer to your perception of who they are. It's like piecing together a puzzle, where each interaction reveals something new and interesting. This creates a sense of discovery that keeps your communication fresh and exciting. Even in long-standing relationships, curiosity can uncover things you didn't know or appreciate before. People are complex and ever-changing, and when you approach them with curiosity, you're acknowledging that there's always more to learn. It's important to recognize that curiosity isn't about interrogation or prying, it's about fostering a sense of connection and mutual exchange. The tone and intent behind your questions matter, just as much as the questions themselves. A curious approach should feel open and non-judgmental, creating a safe space for the other person to share. For example, instead of asking, "Why did you do that?" which might come across as critical, you could say, "What inspired you to make that choice?" This subtle shift in phrasing conveys interest and respect, encouraging openness. Curiosity is also about being fully present in the moment. It's not just about the questions you ask, but how you listen to the answers. Are you actively engaged, or are you thinking about what you're going to say next? True curiosity requires you to set aside distractions and focus entirely on the other person. This level of attentiveness is rare and deeply appreciated because it shows that you value the conversation and the person you're speaking with. When you listen with curiosity, you're not just hearing words, you're picking up on emotions, nuances, and unspoken messages, which enriches your understanding of the other person. Another powerful aspect of curiosity is its ability to create opportunities for growth and learning. When you ask thoughtful questions, you're inviting the other person to reflect on their own experiences and perspectives. This can lead to insights and self-discovery for both of you. For example, if someone is sharing a challenge they're facing, instead of offering advice right away, you might ask, "What do you think is the most important lesson in this for you?" Or, "How do you see this situation shaping who you are?" These questions encourage introspection and can lead to deeper conversations that are both meaningful and transformative. Curiosity also fosters empathy. When you take the time to understand someone's perspective, you're building a bridge between their experience and your own. Even if you don't agree with their views or choices, approaching them with curiosity allows you to see the world through their eyes. For example, if someone shares a decision they made that you don't fully understand, asking what led you to that decision instead of jumping to conclusions creates an opportunity for connection rather than conflict. This kind of curiosity builds emotional intimacy and strengthens the bond between you. One of the most rewarding aspects of curiosity is its ability to surprise you. When you're open to exploring someone's thoughts and feelings, you often uncover insights or stories you didn't expect. These moments of discovery can be incredibly enriching, adding depth and texture to your relationship. For example, a casual question about someone's weekend might lead to a fascinating story about their childhood or a dream they're pursuing. These unexpected revelations remind you of the infinite complexity and beauty of the people around you. Curiosity is also a way to keep relationships vibrant and dynamic. When you're genuinely interested in the other person, your communication never becomes stale or repetitive. There's always something new to explore, whether it's a topic they're passionate about, an experience they've had, or a goal they're working toward. This sense of ongoing discovery keeps the connection alive and creates a sense of excitement and anticipation in your interactions. Lastly, curiosity is a reflection of your own growth and openness. When you approach others with curiosity, you're signaling that you're willing to learn and evolve. You're not fixed in your assumptions or judgments, you're open to new perspectives and experiences. This mindset not only enhances your relationships, but also enriches your own life, as it allows you to see the world through a broader and more diverse lens. Through curiosity, you're not just building connections with others, you're expanding your understanding of humanity itself. Creating emotional resonance in communication is an art that transcends words, leaving a lasting impact on the recipient. It's about tapping into the emotional core of a connection and ensuring that your words carry a depth that is both felt and understood. Emotional resonance transforms routine exchanges into moments of meaning, fostering a bond that goes beyond the surface. This doesn't require elaborate gestures or poetic language. It requires authenticity, vulnerability, and an acute awareness of the other person's emotional landscape. To create emotional resonance, you must first understand the emotions that drive both you and the person you're communicating with. Everyone operates from a unique mix of experiences, feelings, and aspirations. And when you take the time to understand these factors, you're able to craft messages that feel deeply personal. For example, if someone has been going through a challenging time, acknowledging their emotions and validating their experience becomes the first step in forging a deeper connection. A simple message like, "I can't imagine how difficult this must be for you, but I want you to know I'm here," carries far more emotional weight than a generic, "Let me know if you need anything." It speaks directly to their experience, showing empathy and a willingness to stand by their side. Emotional resonance also stems from vulnerability. When you're willing to share your own feelings, struggles, or experiences, you create a space for the other person to do the same. Vulnerability fosters trust and intimacy, making your communication feel genuine and heartfelt. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm here if you need me," you might share something more personal, like, "I've been through something similar, and I remember how isolating it felt. I want you to know you're not alone in this." By revealing a piece of your own story, you not only validate their emotions, but also build a bridge of shared understanding. Another essential component of emotional resonance is being present in the moment. When you're fully engaged in a conversation, whether through text, a call, or face-to-face interaction, you're able to pick up on subtle cues that reveal how the other person is feeling. This attentiveness allows you to respond in a way that aligns with their emotional state, creating a sense of harmony and connection. For example, if someone shares exciting news, your enthusiasm should match theirs. "That's incredible. I'm so proud of you. Tell me more about how it all happened." Similarly, if they're feeling down, your response should reflect compassion and understanding. Emotional resonance requires you to adapt your tone, language, and energy to meet the other person where they are. The language you use plays a significant role in creating emotional resonance. Specificity is key. General or vague statements often fail to leave a lasting impression because they don't feel personal. Instead of saying, "You're great," try something more detailed, like, "The way you handled that situation with such grace and composure really inspired me." This kind of specificity not only acknowledges the other person's unique qualities, but also shows that you're paying attention to the details of their life. It's these details that make your message stand out and resonate on a deeper level. Tone is equally important. The way your words are delivered, whether through text, voice, or in person, can significantly affect how they're received. A warm, compassionate tone creates a sense of safety and openness, while a rushed or distracted tone can make even the kindest words feel hollow. Taking the time to infuse your messages with care and intention ensures that your emotions are communicated as effectively as your words. For instance, when sending a text, adding a thoughtful pause or choosing words that reflect sincerity can elevate the message from functional to heartfelt. Storytelling is another powerful tool for creating emotional resonance. Humans are naturally drawn to stories because they evoke emotion and create a sense of relatability. When you share a story, whether it's about a personal experience, a memory, or an observation, you invite the other person to connect with you on an emotional level. For example, instead of simply saying, "I admire your resilience," you could share a story about a time when their resilience inspired you. This approach not only makes your message more engaging, but also strengthens the emotional connection between you. Acknowledging shared experiences or emotions is another way to build resonance. When someone feels that you understand and relate to their journey, it creates a sense of unity and belonging. This doesn't mean you have to have experienced the exact same thing, they just need to feel that you're empathetic and invested in their perspective. For instance, if someone is struggling with self-doubt, you might say, "I know what it's like to question yourself, but I've also seen how capable and talented you are. You have so much to offer, and I believe in you wholeheartedly." This kind of message not only validates their feelings, but also reinforces their sense of worth. Emotional resonance also involves timing. Knowing when to say something is just as important as knowing what to say. A message sent at the right moment, whether it's to offer support, celebrate an achievement, or simply let someone know you're thinking of them, can have an outsized impact. Timing shows that you're attuned to the other person's needs and emotions, making your communication feel thoughtful and intentional. For example, sending a congratulatory message right after someone accomplishes something significant makes it clear that you're paying attention and celebrating their success alongside them. Consistency is another factor that contributes to emotional resonance. One heartfelt message can leave a strong impression, but consistent acts of care and understanding build a lasting connection. When you regularly show up with thoughtful words and actions, you create a sense of reliability and trust. Over time, this consistency reinforces the emotional bond and ensures that your communication remains meaningful and impactful. Finally, emotional resonance is about leaving space for the other person's emotions to unfold. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply listen and acknowledge what they're feeling without trying to fix or solve anything. This might mean sending a message like, "I can see how much this is weighing on you. It's okay to feel this way, and I'm here to support you however I can." By creating room for their emotions, you show that you respect their process and are there to walk alongside them, whatever they're going through. Building anticipation in communication is a subtle but profoundly effective way to deepen emotional connections and create a sense of intrigue and engagement. It transforms an ordinary interaction into something exciting and memorable. Anticipation is not about playing games or being manipulative, rather, it's about understanding the rhythm of communication and using timing, mystery, and thoughtful delivery to make your exchanges more impactful. When done with intention and care, it can captivate someone's attention and leave a lasting impression, elevating the relationship to a new level of depth and excitement. The foundation of anticipation lies in pacing. Instead of rushing to say everything at once, allowing pauses and moments of reflection in your communication builds curiosity. It's the difference between presenting all your cards up front and letting the other person discover them over time. For instance, when you're sharing a story, instead of jumping to the conclusion, you might weave in details that hint at what's to come, encouraging the listener to lean in and engage more deeply. This could be as simple as saying, "You won't believe what happened to me today," and then taking a moment before continuing. That pause, pregnant with possibility, creates an eagerness to hear more. Timing is another crucial element of anticipation. Knowing when to say something can significantly enhance its impact. If you're communicating with someone over text, spacing out your messages strategically can create a sense of rhythm that keeps them interested. For example, instead of sending a single lengthy message, you might break it into shorter, Intriguing segments. The first message could spark curiosity. I just thought of something that reminded me of you. Then, after a brief pause, you might follow up with the next part. It's so funny how little things can bring back memories. By doing this, you're inviting the other person to stay engaged and look forward to what comes next. Anticipation also thrives on the element of mystery. You don't always need to explain everything at once. Leaving certain details open-ended can ignite the other person's imagination and curiosity. For example, instead of saying, "I bought you a book one think you'll like," you could say, "I found something today that I think you'll absolutely love. I can't wait for you to see it." This not only creates a sense of excitement, but also makes them feel special because you've put thought into their interests. Mystery works because it taps into the natural human desire to seek answers and complete the story. Incorporating personalization into your communication can amplify the effects of anticipation. Tailoring your words to the unique qualities, preferences, or experiences of the other person makes your messages feel more meaningful. For instance, referencing something specific to your shared history, like an inside joke, a memorable moment, or a topic you know they're passionate about, creates a sense of connection that heightens their anticipation. If someone loves hiking, you might say, "I stumbled across something that reminded me of our last hike. Can't wait to share it with you." This level of thoughtfulness not only makes your communication more engaging, but also deepens the emotional bond. The delivery of your message matters just as much as its content. Tone, word choice, and even the medium you use to communicate can influence how your message is received. A voice note, for example, can convey warmth and emotion that text alone might not capture. When you speak with a smile in your voice or a playful tone, it creates a sense of energy and enthusiasm that draws the other person in. Similarly, using vivid language and sensory details can make your messages more captivating. Instead of saying, "I had a good day," you might describe it more vividly. "The most beautiful thing happened today. It felt like the universe was aligning in the most unexpected way." Another way to build anticipation is through shared plans or goals. When you involve someone in something to look forward to, it creates a sense of shared excitement and investment. This could be as simple as suggesting, "I've been thinking about something fun we could do together. Are you free this weekend?" The idea of a future event to anticipate strengthens the connection and keeps the conversation lively. It also fosters a sense of partnership as you're both contributing to something positive and enjoyable. Anticipation isn't just about waiting, it's about the energy that builds during that wait. When you engage someone's imagination, you give them the opportunity to fill in the blanks, creating a sense of involvement. For example, if you're planning a surprise, you might drop subtle hints that spark their curiosity. "I've got a little surprise for you, but you'll have to wait until tonight to find out what it is." The key here is balance, giving enough information to intrigue, but not so much that you spoil the surprise. Creating anticipation also involves being unpredictable in a thoughtful way. When your communication follows a predictable pattern, it can lose its impact over time. Mixing things up, whether it's the timing, content, or tone of your messages, keeps the other person engaged and intrigued. For example, if you usually text in the morning, surprising them with a thoughtful message in the afternoon can catch them off guard in a positive way. It shows that you're thinking of them even when they don't expect it, which adds an element of delight to your interactions. Finally, anticipation is about building a sense of value in your communication. When the other person feels that your words are worth waiting for, they'll naturally look forward to hearing from you. This requires consistency in the quality of your interactions. When your messages are thoughtful, meaningful, and emotionally resonant, they leave a lasting impression. Over time, this creates a sense of expectation and excitement, as they know that every conversation with you will be enriching and enjoyable. Understanding the nuances of when to communicate and when to hold back is one of the most powerful strategies for fostering meaningful connections. Silence, when used intentionally, can speak volumes. It allows space for reflection, curiosity, and a deeper appreciation of what is unsaid. In a world inundated with constant noise and instant communication, knowing how to pace your interactions and strategically step back can be transformative in building relationships that are both balanced and impactful. This isn't about manipulation, but about cultivating a sense of intrigue and respect for emotional boundaries. One of the fundamental aspects of mastering when to communicate is understanding timing. Not every moment is the right moment, and learning to discern this requires sensitivity to the other person's emotional state, energy, and availability. For instance, if someone has had a long day or seems preoccupied, sending a thoughtful yet brief message instead of a lengthy one can demonstrate that you respect their time and emotional bandwidth. By observing their rhythm and aligning your communication accordingly, you create an environment of ease rather than overwhelm. This thoughtfulness and timing ensures that your words land with the impact and attention they deserve. In moments of silence, you create a unique opportunity for anticipation to grow. When you don't immediately respond or constantly engage, it encourages the other person to wonder, reflect, and even miss your presence. This isn't about creating anxiety, but about fostering a natural sense of curiosity. When someone isn't sure what you're going to say next or when they'll hear from you, their mind begins to fill the space with thoughts of you. Silence, in this sense, acts as a canvas for their imagination, painting a picture of your value in their life. It allows them to recognize and appreciate your presence more deeply when you do re-engage. Additionally, holding back from over-communicating can prevent your words from losing their weight. If you're always readily available, your messages might begin to feel routine or expected, diminishing their impact over time. Conversely, when you take a step back and allow for pauses in the flow of communication, your words become something to look forward to. A message sent after a thoughtful silence can carry far more significance than a string of frequent, hurried exchanges. The space created by holding back allows both parties to reflect and resets the dynamic, ensuring that communication feels intentional and meaningful. Silence also plays a crucial role in fostering self-reflection. When you step back from constantly initiating contact, it gives the other person the chance to evaluate their own feelings and contributions to the relationship. Are they reaching out to you? Are they making an effort to maintain the connection? These questions naturally arise in the absence of constant communication. This period of reflection can lead to a deeper understanding on their part of how much they value you and the role you play in their life. By allowing silence, you empower the other person to take responsibility for their part in the relationship, creating a dynamic that feels more balanced and mutual. There's also an element of respect embedded in knowing when to hold back. Over-communicating or intruding into someone's space can sometimes come across as overbearing, even if unintentional. By being mindful of how often and when you reach out, you demonstrate respect for their independence and autonomy. This respect creates a foundation of trust, showing that you're secure enough in yourself not to need constant validation or reassurance. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and self-assuredness, and the ability to embrace silence is a strong indicator of emotional maturity. Furthermore, stepping back can enhance the quality of your communication. When you're not constantly engaging, you have the opportunity to observe, reflect, and bring more thoughtfulness to your interactions. This ensures that when you do communicate, your words carry more depth and relevance. A message sent after a period of reflection might include insights or observations that wouldn't have surfaced in the midst of a constant stream of conversation. This level of thoughtfulness elevates your exchanges, making them more memorable and impactful. Silence can also be a form of self-care. Constant communication can be emotionally draining, leaving little room for you to process your own thoughts and feelings. By stepping back, you give yourself the time and space to recharge and gain clarity about what you want from the relationship. This period of introspection not only benefits you, but also ensures that your interactions with the other person come from a place of authenticity and emotional stability. When you're centered and self-aware, your communication becomes more grounded and effective. Another powerful aspect of knowing when to communicate is the ability to create moments of surprise and spontaneity. When your messages or gestures are less predictable, they stand out more. A thoughtful message sent after a period of silence, especially if it's unexpected, can feel like a delightful surprise. This element of unpredictability keeps the relationship dynamic and exciting, ensuring that your presence always feels refreshing and engaging. Finally, mastering the art of silence allows you to listen more effectively. In the absence of constant talking or texting, you become more attuned to the other person's signals, both verbal and nonverbal. This heightened awareness enables you to respond in ways that feel more aligned with their needs and emotions. By holding back, you create the space to truly hear and understand them, which in turn strengthens the connection and fosters a deeper sense of intimacy.